Hey guys, my name is Price, and I'm joined once again by Rick, and this is another Stumpt Gaming Civ V Basics. So when we last left off, we had just completed the Great Library, and we were able to catapult ourselves towards philosophy, and so we're now conceivably very far ahead on technology. And actually, this gives me a good thought where I can actually show you guys the demographics. Yeah, so we'll go up to this up here. You see this scroll here. You click on this. And there is a little thing up here that says demographics. And if you click on this, you can kind of see how everyone else in the world is doing, or just kind of a relative comparison on the different things. And what we actually see is that we aren't the highest in literacy. Although this is possibly off because I think it calculates it at the end of a turn. And so technically we just got all of those techs on this turn. So we'll check this again next turn.
It also, hold on, it also calculates it off of the percentage of the tech tree which you have researched. And since we have made a beeline towards the higher end of the tech tree, making the beeline towards writing and not focusing on animal husbandry or archery or mining or early on, it's gonna be skewed, because we've researched less techs, but we've researched more high-level techs.
Right, and so that's the other thing, yeah. So we don't have as much of a breadth of knowledge, but we have one very specific set of knowledge that probably far exceeds the other civs that we're playing against. We see our approval isn't fantastic because this is calculated based on your happiness, and we, as we've talked about, our happiness is kind of taking a dip right now, and so that's something that we're going to want to work on. But we are number one on pretty much everything else, so that makes us feel safe. As far as soldiers, as far as manufactured goods, as far as everything, we're doing pretty well.
We're number one on soldiers?
Yeah, strangely enough. I think it's just because...
With one spearman?
With one spearman, yeah. So that makes us feel good. So let's go ahead and, especially now that we know that we have the strongest soldiers, we can feel pretty confident continuing to explore with our spearmen and to try and find an ideal location for our next city. Because while this cotton over here is not a terrible space, there could be some other stuff beyond here, and we know that Warsaw is going to expand to take up most of that range over there. So let's go ahead and let's explore in this direction here. Ooh, and we see some salt. So salt is an extremely useful resource, and we might want to actually move our settler out there with our spearmen as protection, and maybe we'll settle out in that direction.
Yeah, salt's one of the unique luxury resources that it gives you a low gold bonus, but it gives you a food bonus, which is pretty rare for a luxury resource.
Yeah, we can see that it's in a desert, which normally doesn't provide any food, but that salt there is actually providing food on the desert. And once we get it working by hooking it up with a mine, we're going to see a nice big bonus there. So then with this worker, we had said we're going to go ahead and start building this farm on the wheat because we can't construct camps yet to put our truffles online. So let's go ahead and get him working on that. And then for choosing production, so what we see here is we could build that scout that we started earlier. That would only take a few turns, but we're pretty confident now at this point in the game. We're at turn 29, and knowing that the map is a tiny map, since we haven't run into any other civs, we can be pretty confident that we've probably got this continent all to ourselves. And so worrying a whole lot about warriors or scouting or anything like that is not necessarily the highest on our priorities list. We might be able to kind of jump ahead in other things and kind of get our infrastructure ahead. So we could also build a shrine, which would give us faith, and that's going to cost us maintenance as well. But we don't necessarily need faith right now, although faith can be a pretty powerful resource. So Rick, why don't you tell us a little bit about faith and the benefits that gives us, and we can make our decision on if we want to build a shrine or not.
Yeah, so faith, it's a religion. So you want to use faith to found a religion. I don't have, since I'm observing right now, I'm not lucky enough to have numbers in front of me as far as how many religions can still be founded and how much faith it would take to found that religion. But just to let you know, the more religions that are founded, the more faith it's going to take to found a religion. And there are a finite amount of religions that can be founded within a game. So not every Civ is going to get a religion. Basically, with 3 civs playing this map, I believe that there are 2 religions available.
So actually, since we're playing on a tiny map, but there are only 3 people on it, normally there would be 4. The cap is at 3. So actually, every civ in this game is going to be guaranteed to be able to found their own religion. But normally there would be 4 people playing, and we can see that religions that can still be founded is 3. And so we know that we're safe in getting a religion, but normally, you want to keep an eye on that.
Normally, this map would have 4 players playing.
Exactly.
But since I'm observing,
it takes
everybody gets
slots.
a religion.
Yeah. Thanks,
Typically,
Rick.
though, not everybody would get a religion. So faith is going to build towards that religion. You're going to get faith by building shrines, by building temples, by building other various wonders. And the faith is going to give you founding bonuses. So you're going to first build a pantheon to the gods. That's what happens before you build a legitimate religion.
So let's go ahead and look at the pantheons that are currently in place. So we can see that we don't have a religion. And when I click on the religion overview, I can go up here and click on beliefs. And so we can see the pantheons that the other civs have chosen. And so we see that one of them chose Dance of the Aurora, which gives them +1 faith from tundra tiles without forest. So we know that they're getting a little bonus from their tundra tiles that are blank. And then there's oral tradition was the other one. And so this gives +1 culture from plantation. So they probably have a lot of either citrus or bananas or something that requires a plantation to work, maybe dyes. And so they're getting a culture bonus from that. And so you can see that you can actually boost your faith output by picking a faith-based pantheon as well. And then once you get enough faith, that's when you can found a religion, which does give you those bonuses that Rick was talking about, of being able to have a founding bonus. And there's a lot of those. So if we get a religion, if we start to get faith, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But just know that it's a really powerful tool to be able to give yourself bonuses to really anything. Happiness, culture, money. You can get lots of stuff out of founding religion.
Right. So growth, trading with allies, it's our allied city-states. And also in the long end game scenario, you can even buy units with faith. You could buy great scientists, great engineers with faith, and you don't even need to found a religion. You just need to have a city that is following a religion in order to buy these units with faith. So it's a good thing to be accruing faith so that you can buy these units later on, but you don't necessarily have to found a faith to gain from these bonuses.
Exactly. And so we're not going to build the shrine right away, I don't think. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to start construction on the National College. And so what the National College is it is actually a national wonder. And so this differs from world wonders, where we had said before, so like the Great Library that we built before, that was something that there could only be one of in the world. And so we were competing with the other civs in order to build it. The National College, or the national wonders, these are wonders that can only be built one per empire, one per civilization. So we can only get one national college throughout all of our cities, but we're guaranteed to be able to get the one. And if we look at the requirements for it, we can see that you have to have built a library in all of your cities. And the cost goes up the more cities there are in the empire. So these are good to get earlier on. And so I think we want to go ahead and start building it now. And we may even want to hold off on founding that next city until we finish the National College so that we can have that boost to science. Because as we've seen, we've been kind of going for a science focus. And really a science focus is a good solid all-around focus to go for in order to keep yourself protected. So
yeah, I find that a science victory is related to a domination victory a lot of the time, because if you are ahead in science, then your military is ahead no matter what. So those two kind of play to each other's strengths. And also worth remembering what is a national wonder and what is a great wonder or a world wonder, because I follow the Civ V subreddit on Reddit, and there was a guy who said he'd been playing for 200 hours and just realized what the difference was. He thought that he had been getting lucky building Oxford and building the Hermitage every time before other civs were doing it, you know? So just really know the difference between those two. It'll save you a lot of time and heartache.
Exactly. You don't have to rush to get them to compete with other civs. Really, it's more about getting them when it's appropriate for you in your history of your Civ. So let's pick our new research. And I think this time we know we want to get animal husbandry and camps up online so we can get our truffles. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, and we're probably going to need to get bronze working here pretty quickly so that we can take out forests as well. But we don't need that to build camps. And the other thing that's nice about trapping is once we get that online, if we happen to have any horses nearby, we'll be able to build a circus, which will improve our happiness. So hopefully we'll get some horses. So let's go for trapping as our next one. The other thing you can do, just so I can show you guys this, is you can actually queue up science. So if you hold down shift while you've already clicked a scientific advancement that you want to build next, you can actually click around on other ones and queue them up to be happening in a certain sequence. We're not going to have a huge queue right now. We're just going to go straight to trapping, and that's all we're going to worry about at the moment. But it's good to have in mind so that you can kind of focus on other things. So trapping, that's what we're going to research. And that's everything that we need to worry about right now. So let's get our next turn up and running. And we got horses. Perfect.
Ooh, horses.
Wonderful. So that'll be great. We'll be able to build mounted units, and we'll be able to build a circus as soon as that happens. So let's get
Where are the horses at? I don't see them on my map.
Oh, they are to the east of the farm. They're the tile just southeast of Warsaw, and they're to the east of the farm.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, they're not showing up on my map.
Oh, what is that? We have found ourselves a ruin. Where did that show up? Is it in that forest? I can barely see it.
Yeah. It's
okay.
Buried.
So somewhere around here will be good to form a city for sure. There's a cow over there. There's salt. There's more cows to the north. We'll definitely want to form over there. You always want to keep your settlers near a warrior of some sort to be protected.
Yeah.
So here we just saw something that's not so great. We see that someone else has built a wonder. Stonehenge has been built in a faraway land, so we can no longer get Stonehenge. We weren't really rushing for Stonehenge. We didn't really seem to care that much about it because that is a faith-focused wonder, and that's not really what we were going for. But as you can see, that's no longer going to pop up in our production queue. We can no longer pick Stonehenge to be built, so it's important to consider. All right. Unit needs orders.
So what happens when a settler strays too far from a military unit?
It can get picked off by barbarians or killed by another civ, and basically you've just lost that settler. It really sucks.
But when it gets picked off by a barbarian, you can chase it down.
For sure.
You can win it back.
For sure.
It's a lot of wasted turns. A barbarian will capture a settler. The settler will run off to the nearest barbarian encampment, and then you will have to destroy the encampment to regain your settler. In a worst case scenario, another civ will destroy that encampment first and then take your settler. It's so much wasted time and energy.
Definitely.
So never leave your settler undefended.
Exactly. And what we just saw there, the spearmen just picked up the ancient ruin and got extra population, basically. The survivors that were living in that ruin joined one of our cities. And so we now got a little boost to population in Warsaw. And as we can see, we're kind of running out of food in Warsaw because most of our tiles are really focused on a broad spread of food and production. So we're going to need to increase our food output here shortly. I think that putting a camp down on these truffles, it might not give us a boost to food, but once we have one of those online, we can start putting down some farms. So we'll do that as soon as possible. Let's explore a little bit over in this direction with our spearmen, and we will follow him around with the settler. We still don't want to found a city quite yet because we want that national college to finish in the next 5 turns. So we're going to construct a pasture on these horses. That's going to hook them up so that we can actually use them, much like when you hook up a truffle or a marble. Once you have them being worked, now you can actually use them, and they'll actually pop up here in this horses tab to let us know how many horses we have throughout the empire. And this tile is going to give us 4 horses, so that'll be really, really useful. All right, next turn. We have discovered trapping, so that's great. I think I'm going to explore this way. Rick, do you think I should explore to the north or to the east over here?
With your spearmen?
Yeah.
I think that you should go east.
East. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust the eye in the sky. All right. Let's choose some research. The next thing we should get online, I think, is maybe the wheel. Is usually a good one to get, and we could beeline towards the Hanging Gardens. Now, someone's probably already building them, but if we could get those, that would again be a nice wonder boost that will give us a lot of food.
Hanging Gardens is one of my favorite wonders to build for a Civ that really wants to grow population. I can't, if you start a game and your objective is to grow tall, not sprawl, grow few cities with huge population, the Hanging Gardens is essential. So make a beeline for that.
Oh, okay, I see. So there is a city-state over here. We're not going to be able to reach him, but I don't think this is going to be a good place to found a city, so we might want to found right next to that salt.
Yeah, I think you should backtrack. You're a great distance from Warsaw as well.
Yeah, we don't want to get too far away.
There you go. Yeah, I think that
and look, yeah, there's fish there too, so that'll be good. There's cattle up there. There's more horses over here. This will be a good spot right there, I think. How far are we on that? We have 2 more turns till we get to National College. All right, let's back up our spearmen really
And did
quickly.
you say why you're not founding because of that National College?
Oh, I think I did, but just to clarify, if we didn't, when you hover over the National College, you see that you have to have built a library in all of your cities, and the cost of it goes up the more cities there are in the Empire. So as soon as we founded our next city, the National College would stop being produced, and suddenly what we would have is it would increase in its cost, and we would need to build a library in our new city before we could start building the National College again. So since we've already put so much time into it, we want to make sure that we get everything out of it that we can earlier on, because the earlier you get this stuff, especially with science bonuses, the more you're going to get out of it. Okay, back to our unit. Let's skip his turn, and let's keep on moving along. All right, our worker has finished constructing the stables. That gave us some production there. Now let's start building this camp. And let's explore a little bit to the north with this guy. Okay, we got more water here. Water's not bad. And we'll wait one more turn before founding our city so that we can finish our National College. And there we have it. Our National College has completed. We have discovered the wheel. Someone else in the world has founded a religion, Eastern Orthodoxy, in one of their cities. Someone has entered the classical era, so they've finally caught up to us. And we need to choose a new construction project. So let's build a camp. What's that going to do? It's going to give us +1 gold from these truffles. So it's not going to help us with our food problem, but it is going to make these truffles more valuable. And we're going to get the happiness, which is something that we really, really desperately need, because that's going down.
I always find it pretty funny when you discover philosophy or theology or guilds or something, and then you discover the will.
Yeah.
You know? It never fails to make me laugh.
Yeah, that is always pretty funny. All right, yeah, I think this is a good spot to build our city. Let's go ahead and do that. And it's got some good tiles to work early on. This cow here is going to help us a lot to get Krakow, our new city, up and running with food really quickly.
And Krakow has a lot of food, but what I'm noticing it's lacking is production.
Right.
So we're really going to need to focus on production-oriented buildings to get Krakow up and running.
For sure, for sure. And one of the few that we can build now is a water mill. In Warsaw, we could go ahead and construct that, which would be nice. I think what we're going to get online first, though, is going to be a caravan. Oh, actually, no, our happiness just hit 0. So we're going to go and rush towards a circus. We're okay.
But you know, your worker is currently working on that camp for the truffles, and you're going to have +4 happiness once that's done.
We're going to get happiness once that pops up. That's true. So actually, maybe we should go for the caravan. So we can start getting some trade routes going that gives us more money. We have a good amount of money right now. Actually, have 184 saved up. Can we buy something in Krakow? We could buy a shrine. But
do you need a shrine?
Not quite. So let's just go ahead. As we said before, what's the first building you should buy in every city?
Monument.
A monument, right, because we want those borders to pop, so we need to get some culture going. So we're going to build that monument there for now, and we're going to get a caravan going in Warsaw, and yeah, we'll just hope that we get that happiness online before it dips too low, and it shouldn't dip for too low. Oh, and look at this. Look what we just found. We found ourselves some barbarians, so that's some trouble, but we also found another city-state, so we got that 30 gold bonus for being the first person to find them. which is another reason why we're pretty sure we're the only person on this continent, because we're still getting that 30 gold bonus when we meet a new city-state. Okay, let's go ahead and skip to the next turn, and we can adopt a new policy. Okay, so in the Liberty Tree, and now what we see is we've actually unlocked some more trees that we can pick from, which is really important to notice, is that you actually unlock new ones as you go into new eras. There's the medieval era, and since we're in the classical era, we've unlocked patronage and aesthetics. Patronage is focused on forming relationships with city-states, and aesthetics is focused on producing culture. But we first want to complete the Liberty Tree, because that's what we were focusing on early on. So, let's see, the options that we have now are representation and meritocracy. So meritocracy gives you +1 happiness for each city you own connected to the capital, so that's nice, and -5% unhappiness from citizens. And so since we've been having a happiness problem, that might be crucial. The other is representation, which basically reduces the amount of culture cost for social policies that each city gives you, because every time you found a new city, then that gives you increased costs for social policies. So Rick, what do you think we should pick?
I would go with meritocracy right now. I would give you that bonus to happiness.
For sure.
Because as Krakow grows, your happiness is going to take a quick dip, and then you can add representation next.
For sure. All right, so let's go ahead and pick that. We'll hit yes on there. Let's start attacking these barbarians, because we don't want that trouble just hanging around. And while we fight them, let's click on Kathmandu. Yeah, we can see that they have a quest to where they will actually reward us if we can destroy those barbarians. And so killing these barbarians is going to help us improve our relationship with Kathmandu, which could be a really great thing. So let's go to the next turn. We're going to finish mathematics. And I think that what we're going to do next is we're actually going to end the video here. We've just got our truffles online. We've just finished mathematics, so we can maybe start doing the hanging gardens. We can hope and pray we'll get that one. And something that we just saw pop up, and we'll talk about this maybe a little bit more in the next video, is the city of Warsaw is now demanding salt. And one thing that we know is that in Krakow, we actually have salt to put online, so that's going to be a really nice bonus for us. But I think we're going to end this episode of the video right now. So once again, I've been Price, and I've been joined by Rick. And this has been another Stumpt Gaming Civ 5 Basics. If you liked it, give us a like, give us a favorite, and maybe even click that subscription button. That would be wonderful. So yeah, thanks a bunch, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.